has this journey as a football player been like for you, going from a receiver to a quarterback, back to a receiver to a safety, and now finding yourself as a starter, as a striker?
It's been fun. I've been playing football my entire life. It's something I love to do. Um, yeah, it's been a blast. I've enjoyed every position I've been at, and I'm really excited to play striker this year. Our team's going to do some great things. I'm looking forward.
Do you think your time as an offensive player is helping you now as a defensive player?
Oh, for sure. I would say playing quarterback, playing receiver, you definitely gives me an advantage playing defense now because I kind of know how the offensive players think, what they see when they're running certain routes. I know being a receiver, I would always be trying to avoid outside linebackers, the strikers and stuff. And I always hated when I would get rerouted and stuff like that. So now playing striker, I know how annoying that is and frustrating it can be from a receiver standpoint. So I try to implement that into my play.
What did you learn as a special teams player about what it took to be a starter in college football?
Probably just the details. We have this thing at the academy. We always say FTD, so fixation to details. It's really important. Like college football, you can't just roll out there and be a starter. So when I was on special teams and kind of wait my turn, you have to still take the same detailed notes that the starters take, because a lot goes into the game.
Thanks.
Flags.
So, Jaxson, at this time last year, you were given an opportunity to win this position, and it didn't happen for you. How have you improved as a player, and why were you ready to seize the moment this time around?
I think my FTD really improved. I think I'm more detailed, and I'm not just relying on my athleticism to kind of just like run into plays and kind of being lucky. That's not really happening anymore. I'm kind of I know my job. I know where I'm supposed to be at on the defense. So the coaches are able to trust me. Yeah, like I said, like I probably wasn't ready earlier on. Just being young, I had a lot of maturity, a lot of growing up to do, but I'm excited. I feel ready, and I'm confident in my ability now.
So, I mean, in your opinion, what is the job of the striker? I mean, it's a multifaceted position. Requires versatility. It's two-pronged in that sometimes you're rushing the quarterback, blitzing off the edge. Other times you're dropping into coverage. Can you talk about the position, and are you finally really comfortable with all of what it entails?
Yeah, so at the academy of playing striker, you gotta be a dog. You gotta be able to, be physical and have some presence inside the box, working moves on tackles that are 300 pounds plus, all that. But then you also got to be quick enough to guard the little guys out wide in the flats. Um, it's a position that is set up to make a lot of plays, whether it be blitzing off the edge, being a flat dropper. So you just got to be really athletic and physical. So I think I'm both those things, and I think I can do some good things this year. I'm excited.
John Marshall played that position at an incredibly high level 2 seasons ago. Do you go and watch film of him? Do you talk to Xavier McDonald? Do you kind of try to talk to the people who've come before to find out what it is you need to be to impact player?
Yeah, no doubt. I try to get all the help I can, whether it be from X, Gibby, watching film on John Marshall. I know we also have been implementing like these new things where like whether or not like we might be going over special teams period, and if I'm not doing anything, then I'm working pass rush moves with Coach Volker, where we're just trying to get every little edge we can, because like I said before, that position you're going to blitz a lot. So if you can really master one or two pass rush moves like John Marshall did, you can make a lot of sacks.
So, how long? I mean, you've been waiting this opportunity for a long time. This has got to be exciting, looking ahead to this opener, knowing you've nailed down a starting spot. You can be out there counting on to make plays. This has got to be exciting. It's been a long time coming for you, hasn't it, Jaxson?
Man, it really has. Like I said before, like earlier on and when I was younger, there's definitely a lot of growing up to do, but the passion's always been there. So I'm so excited now. I get the opportunity to go out and showcase what I can do for my football team. I feel like I can help in a big way, and I feel like I'm finally getting released, and I'm excited to cause a lot of havoc and our defense. Like I'm excited for our defense. Everyone on our defense. I got this shirt. I don't know if you can see it. It's a dark side defense. Like it's really important for our defense just to fly around, and we're gonna put that stuff on film, and we're looking to have a great year.
And what about, I mean, how much do you work in tandem with the Raider? I know that you're all in the same meeting room now. It used to be that they kind of were separate positions. I think they might have had separate coaches. Didn't they at one point, Strauss, have a separate coach for striker and Raider?
I honestly don't remember. I'd have to
Right.
look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think the Raider at one point was with the defensive ends. But either way, you talk about how you work in tandem with that guy, Luke Pierce or Jordan Sanders, whoever it case may be.
Yeah, so like you said, we're in the same meeting rooms, and we go through. We have the same position coach, obviously being Coach Brown, and we're working a lot of the same skill sets. So we're working on setting edges, being physical in the box, but then also pass rush moves, and we both get out in coverage. Yeah, that's interesting to me because the way our defense is set up, the striker is more similar probably to like the will in the boundary, and our Raider is kind of more similar to the end. So it would kind of make sense to me that if the end or if the Raider used to be coached by the ends, that makes sense because they're basically the Raider to the field.
And one last one for me before I pass it back off. What Kenny McShan's a guy who's been moved out there. He's a bigger guy, bigger body. I think maybe he's like a guy that will be really good in run support. But how's Kenny coming along?
Oh, it's been awesome having Kenny. Kenny got moved earlier this summer, and he's coming off a knee injury, but he's great to have in the room. Like you said, yeah, he is a bigger guy. Really physical. It's always fun to practice with him, and we always feed off of each other. We're always talking, whether it be like, oh, we can improve our game in this area or that area. But yeah, he's been great to have.
Hey, Wags. In 2019, Kevin Downing coached the defensive end in the Raiders, and Steve Johns coached the Strikers.
That's what I recall.
Scott Wyckoff, you're up.
Yeah, Jaxson, what do you like best about the makeup of this team coming together as teammates? The character, especially that you guys have on defense, the makeup that you have as characters together.
I think the thing that excites me the most is it's a collective group of guys. From the years past, it's been like maybe one or two guys, and I feel truly that this year we're all kind of bought in. It's you're an outsider if you're not bought in, and we don't have any of those. So not only is it from a team standpoint, but it's also a really player-led team too. So we're leading as players and getting on each other as players if things aren't right. Because traditionally it always comes from the coaches, and it's one thing you can have a good team if it's a coach-led team, but the best are always the player-led team. So I know our defense has a certain standard where you can get called out by anyone, even if it's a second string, third string guy. If you're not pulling your weight, you're not playing the way that our defense plays, then you're going to be reminded, and we're going to fix it.
What about playing for Coach Volker? How do you like his style and how he runs this defense?
It's awesome. I love being a part of it. It's why I'm so thankful I switched to striker, honestly. We come to work every day, and there's a lot of passion. He lets us use that. And, football's a violent game, so he's really intense. He's probably one of the most intense coaches on our staff, and I think it reflects on our defense how we have that elite eat and we're always flying around. So it's been great.
What is Thompson Station, Tennessee like? Can you describe your hometown?
Oh, it's great. It's just a small town, big time football. Just got country people, good music. We're probably like 20 minutes south of Nashville. So it's a great area. A lot of musicians, obviously, being that close to Nashville. Great weather. I like the heat, so it doesn't get too cold. But yeah, great people. Got good Southern people who still have common sense and manners. So it's great. I always love going back.
And how has it helped you in this journey as a college football player and as a student athlete with a father who's gone through the same things you've gone through when he played at JMU?
Yeah, it's been big. Like I said before, sports they've always been a part of my life, and they've been something I've always really cared about. So going to my dad and like asking him questions, how I can better my game or what college football is like, or even not playing early on and kind of just being special teams. My dad was able to, give me encouragement on just, waiting my turn and focusing on things that I can focus on. And I'm really grateful to have that because I know not everyone does.
Great. Thank you.
Jaxson, what can you
Hey, Wags, the Strikers and Raiders went in the same room starting in 2022 with Joe Caniglio after Kevin Downing left.
So what can you say about Coach Brown? He brings a lot of energy to the position. I know he's very, boisterous, outgoing type of guy. Played the game himself. What can you say about Coach Brown? You like working with him?
Oh, I love it. I'm so thankful he's on my position coach. Yeah, probably like the most passionate coach we have. Super intense and definitely like a huge players coach. He obviously he played at the highest level, so he can always give us pointers and that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, he's one of us. So he's still coaching us, but he's still a player at the heart of it. And that's what I value most is that he understands how we think and how we go about things. And yeah, he's great. He's taught me a lot. I've grown a lot having him as my coach.
So you feel like you've been making plays in preseason camp? You've been in the backfield causing some havoc?
I would say so. It's been fun. It's been fun. This has been a great fall camp. Offense is looking good, but defense we get our licks for sure. And then now we're just getting ready. So now we're tightening things up for week 1 and before we get after Bucknell.
How do you like the way this team is running to the football?
Yeah, I think our guys are really understanding our style of play, and have really just continued to grow and grow with our elite, what we preach every day, and that's the foundation of what we do. And it's been that way since Coach Newberry got here. I think these particular guys have been in it for quite some time right now, Scott. So it's just got better and better. And there's a difference between pursuit and running to the ball, and I think a lot of times, as young players, we run to the ball, but we don't actually pursue the football. And there's an art to pursuit. And that's really where our guys are starting to grow, is understanding the angles, understanding not color, following same color, all those types of things. And that's always something that we got to get better at. And it's always something that for whatever reason, those angles seem to rear their head week 1.
What does it mean for this defense, not only to have the players develop in that knowledge, but also to have players that are of the quality that you've been able to recruit in recent years, fitting into this defense that really thrives on the makeup of those players you're going after?
Yeah, we're really fortunate. This is a personnel-driven game, and you have to have great personnel. We can put on, draw up any type of blitz or coverage or front or anything like that but if you don't have the guys that can execute it and get it done with great fixation to detail, then it really doesn't matter. It's not necessarily what we do, it's how we do it. and to have this bunch of guys has been big. I think we got a really hungry group that's excited to get out there and kick off this season.
How has it helped your defense this spring camp and now through the fall camp, going up against the first team offense when you were doing that, a total new look that you guys hadn't seen before?
Yeah, it was a big challenge. You know, Coach Cronick does an amazing job with the offense, and I think anybody that's been out there to practice over spring or fall camp or heading into week one has been able to see that with their own eyes. There's a ton of challenging things going on, a lot of different eye candy. Just comes back to us being able to play with that elite, phenomenal eye discipline, and then being violent in our tackling and our block destruction. And it's been a major challenge for us. Kudos to the offense for that. I'm excited to see what they look like game one as well.
You get it in conference every week, but starting out the season out of conference with another outstanding quarterback. I think set all the records last year as a transfer from Oklahoma to Bucknell, and that's what you open up with against Rucker this week.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal football player. He jumps right off the film in terms of just his athleticism, his arm talent, his way to read defenses and get the ball to his playmakers in tight windows, in space. He's extremely slippery in the pocket. He's a capable runner, and he's elusive. I mean, he just does a ton of things, and there's no doubt that there's a lot of talent around him as well. And they got a big, strong offensive line and tight ends. The receiving core is strong. Obviously, they've got a couple new guys at tailback, but everything that we hear and have read about those guys is that they're performing at a high level, and he's the guy that makes them go. And he jumps off the film in terms of being able to do that. It's a big challenge for us this week.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
So you're talking about the offense. I mean, without giving us away state secrets, what do you think is it about the offense that's going to give opponents trouble this season?
You know, I Wags, you know, not going into all the scheme and things like that. To me, it's how they're going about their business right now. I think the guys on offense are playing at a really high level. I think they're comfortable with what we've got going on. I think they're playing fast. I think they're playing physical. Again, it's you know, Coach Newberry says it all the time. I know you guys have heard it from me as well. It's not what we do, it's how we do it. And I think they're in sync with what they're doing. And there's a lot of challenging things out there that mess with defenders in their eyes.
So we talked about the inside linebacker position. I was talking to Coach Newberry yesterday with Ramos. We know what he brings to the table. And I guess maybe just real quickly, I know we've said a lot about Colin, but what is it like to have a guy that knows the defense that well and is so good at every aspect of his game? What's it like to have a guy like that you just trust so much?
Yeah, I mean, we've been really fortunate here since I've been here to have really talented inside linebackers that understand the scheme. They understand football. They've got great football knowledge, and Colin is excellent in that manner. I think the thing that separates him from everybody else that I've coached is everything's extremely important. And I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but everything is really important to him. Every rep in practice, every meeting, every clip on film, you know, anything that we do football wise, whether it's training, running a sprint, our huddle after practice, our huddle at halftime, like everything is detailed and important to him. And I think when your best player performs in that level, it does nothing except for influence the younger guys to come along in that manner as well. So I think he ups the ante for everybody in the room. It's a joy to coach him. And then obviously he's extremely physical and violent. Like I just love the way he plays football. I mean, he's going to do everything he possibly can to win his one-on-one matchup every single play. and he does everything that you try to coach in terms of the mentality piece of things going into the football game as well.
You talked last week about Kyle Jacob. What about behind them? Marcus Blizzard and Elijah Oatsfall right now, number 2 on the depth chart. Do you feel comfortable putting them in, or is there maybe one of those two is going to probably back up both inside linebackers?
No, I feel really comfortable with both those guys. I think they're playing really good football, and I think Coleman Cawley and Joe Grant are playing good football too. This linebacking core is deep. It's a lot of guys that we have confidence and trust in, we believe in. There's some younger guys that I think are just going to keep getting better and better. I know Coach Brown has a lot of faith in those guys in terms of the special teams units as well. The more and more they play, the more and more confidence they're going to get in themselves, the more and more they're going to trust themselves and really be able to cut it loose. But I mean, we're in a great place linebacker wise, knock on wood, and we just got to keep developing those guys. I'm really excited about really those 6 guys, and there's some younger guys that are coming along too that have been really fun to watch, and particularly Mark Anthony Parker and Noah Beck. I think those guys are playing really good football as well, and going to continue to develop. And you'll see more and more of them as the season moves along.
So when you get ready for your first road trip and you got to take guys, do you think you take 6 inside linebackers on the bus?
Yeah, we're usually somewhere around 6. There's some years where it's been up to 8, because of, guys that are playing prominent roles on special teams. When they're core 4 special teams guys, by that I mean, kickoff return, punt return. When they're, difference makers on those units, we got to bring them with us. And there's been years where we brought up to 8 because of that deal. There's been years where we've brought 5, or games where we've brought 5 because maybe a safety or a running back or a tight end is fulfilling those jobs differently than a 3rd or 4th string inside linebacker. So week to week, game to game, those things change. But I think we've really got 8 capable guys right now that it's my job, it's Coach Wimberly's job to keep bringing those guys along.
So I was interested at the battle at Radar because Jordan Sanders had started some games last year, and then when he went down, obviously Luke Pierce came in and did a whale of a job. And then now Dylan Spelios is actually number 2 on the depth chart ahead of Jordan. It looks like you got 3 good ones at Raider, huh? Yeah,
I think our depth at Raider is as good as it's ever been. Luke Pierce he just keeps getting better and better. I think Coach Brown does an amazing job with that bunch, but I think Coach Carizzi and Luke deserve a lot of credit. He keeps getting bigger. He keeps getting stronger and faster and twitchy. He's playing really, really good football for us right now. Dylan Spelios, has really come on and is developing into the type of player we really thought he would be when we recruited him. He's a doggone good football player. When he was at the prep school, got a little banged up towards the tail end of his time at the prep school, but the games that I watched when he was at the prep school and evaluated, I thought he was the best player on the field, and we're starting to see that from him. And then obviously Jordan started games, is a tremendous talent at the position as well. Brings some pass rush ability, some dropping ability, is sturdy in the run game, just like Spelios and Pierce are. We asked that guy to do a lot, and to have those 3 guys over there, they provide a lot of size, length, strength, athleticism. It's a heck of a bunch.
What did Ira Oniha do to move ahead of Andrew Duhart at that one corner spot?
Yeah, he's performed very, very well. He's had a great camp, and he's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He's got excellent ball skills and playmaking ability when he has the opportunity to do that. And that's not to say that Duhart hasn't been doggone good as well. Like he's played really, really good football as well. Missed a couple days just being, a little bit banged up. And that gave Ira the opportunity, and Ira just took that opportunity and ran with it. But I think for us, the depth at corner that we have right now, I see that continuing to get better and better, but we haven't had anything quite like we have right now since I've been here. But Ira's playing excellent football. He can cover, he can tackle, he can make plays on the ball. He's got great length, speed, athleticism. He's been excellent for us. And again, that's not a knock on Duhart. He's been excellent as well and played a lot of great football for us and been in those battles. And there's nothing like, experience. You can, as much as we scrimmage, practice, simulate games, all those types of things, we can't pack 35,000 people in the stadiums and play on national TV every single day in practice. Now we're going to do everything we can to put pressure on guys and replicate those things. But Andrew Duhart is going to have a huge role on this football team as well. I would say that job is ever fully safe.
I'll pass it back to Scott.
Thanks, Wags.
One pronunciation correction, Wags. It's Blazard, as in hazard. Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, how's it been for you personally with one season of being the coordinator on defense under your belt, having gone through this entire experience in the offseason that you've gone through this year, not only, I guess, for you, but maybe for your family at home too?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been nothing short of awesome, and especially to do it here at Navy with these guys. I love living in Annapolis. I love the guys that we work with on our staff, and I absolutely love the players in the locker room. And my family does too. I appreciate you asking about them. They love coming out to practice, getting a chance to see the guys, making treats for the guys, even though it drives me nuts, giving guys, cookies and candy and all that type of stuff. But my family loves doing that. And the guys probably deserve it, having to deal with me around the clock during fall camp and things like that. But it's been amazing. There's so much knowledge on our football staff in general. To have Coach New, next door and really just pick his brain. He's an amazing head football coach, and obviously defensive coordinator as well, has got him into that role, and to be able to pick his brain about what he sees and how he sees it, what we need to do better, what we're doing well, what can we emphasize to have that. You have Eric Lewis on the back end and RB Green on the back end, to have those guys that are just confidants that you can go to and say, hey, what's the best way to teach this? What do our guys not do well? What do we need to emphasize that we can get done? And then you got Coach Hall and Ricky Brown in the run game that just are absolute gurus. And this is a collective effort. And anybody that's in our staff meetings knows that we collectively put the game plan together. We talk about everything almost ad nauseum. I know our TADs right now are a little bit mind blown. We got Chase and Buckner and Avon Gibbons that are in our staff meetings right now for the first time, being on the other side now, those young guys, and did not realize, the amount of thought and intricacy that goes into every little thing that we do. This would be an impossible job if there weren't great people around you. And I'm really fortunate that Coach Newberry has just put together an amazing staff. And then our players, there's nothing better than being on the grass every day. But like that 45-minute meeting that we get every day with the guys is so close here, just because of the attention to detail that they have, the fixation to detail, the way they go about their work in the meeting rooms, and then just the type of people they are. Like, we had a community service project this summer. My daughters do like this little community service deal once a month every Sunday, with some friends here in Annapolis, and we had a bunch of guys show up for that and really just made a huge impact on those young men and those young girls. just being there and being present and providing information for them. And I got a lot of friends and family that are there that just were blown away by our guys. And I'm like, you get to work with those guys every single day? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's amazing. So it's been, I appreciate you asking. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And I just really hope and pray that it just continues to get better and better. And we're going to pour everything that we possibly can to make sure our guys have every opportunity to be successful on the field on Saturday, put a product out there that makes Navy football fans, the program, everybody extremely proud.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Scott.
Wags.
Where did the dark side defense come from?
So, shoot, man. Mount St. Joseph University now. It was Mount St. Joseph College when I went there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but my first year at Mount St. Joe, we had the nation's longest losing streak at that time. So it was a tough deal. I think we were at 18 games or something along those lines. And Jim Hilvert was our defensive coordinator. He's now the head coach at Baldwin Wallace College, and I have to give him props on this. He's basically my big brother. He's one of my main mentors. Absolutely love him. And he flipped that program around on the defensive side of things because he brought that mentality to us defensively. And we were able to take over that team by playing really, really doggone good defense and having fun doing it. And that was the name of our defense back then. It's very special to me. And trying to make that thing a special thing here, I think we've started to succeed in that manner. It's a really big deal to be part of the dark side, to be part of what we've got going on here defensively. I think our guys here have started to rally around that and continue to rally around that. But that's where it came from. It came from Mount St. Joseph Lions, Division III football back in the day, and it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And my goal is to make every defensive player here at the Naval Academy hold it near and dear to theirs.
You got T-shirts. Jaxson Campbell was wearing a T-shirt. That you got stuff gear printed up with that slogan.
You got to earn it. You got to earn it. You got to earn the T-shirt. It's an exclusive club.
So you outdid Coach Newberry. He never thought of a neat nickname for his defense. All those years he did it, he never had a nickname.
I don't know if he never had one. You're going to have to ask him about that.
He gets credit for Get Six.
Yeah, Get Six was he gets credit for a lot of stuff, rightfully so. This is his defense, and there's not anybody that goes on the dark side without going through the big whistle. That's for sure.
Get Six still a big deal? Is that still
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. That the core tenets of our defense will never change. Absolutely not. Like that. Like you can call us whatever the heck you want to call us, but there's certain that we've got a job to do when we go out there, and there's a certain way we go about our business in terms of the elite. Obviously, getting six, creating a ton of havoc is what we aim to do, and we want to make sure that the way that we play ball inspires the people that watch what we do. And the tenets of what we do in terms of playing smart, playing fast, playing violent, playing together, the elite, the get six, those things are not going to change. The way we pursue the football, those are not going to change. And we're not going to lower that standard for anyone. And Coach Newberry talks about it all the time. Like when we're consistently at the standard, then we raise the bar and we want even more. We're never satisfied with anything that we've accomplished on the field.
So I think everyone believes, based on past history and returning players, and we talked just now about depth at so many positions, that defense will be a strength. I mean, I guess you never really know until you get out on the field and play some games and see what's what. But do you feel that the standard that's been set will be held this year?
We are 0-0, and anything we've done in the past really has absolutely no correlation with what we do moving forward. And that's our approach, is that we have to do everything in our power to be 1-0. And that doesn't mean just 1-0 on Saturday. That means 1-0 in Tough Tuesday practice today. And we boil it down to whatever rep that we get, whatever matchup that we get. And we are on track in terms of our mentality to be able to accomplish and focus that. But that's easy when the season's new and fresh and everybody's excited and all that type of stuff. You know, the challenge is being able to grind through one day at a time, one rep at a time, one-on-one matchup at a time for an extended period of time. And you just have to be able to boil that down to right now, today. You know, I'm not going to make any statements on where we'll be at the end of the season or anything like that. Our main focus is having a great Tough Tuesday practice. I think we've got a phenomenal bunch of coaches and guys on both sides of the ball and on special teams. And I'm extremely excited about today and this group moving forward.